Hi everyone, so my name is Ben, and today I'll be presenting to you on why are triathlons awesome and not scary. So firstly, people always ask me, so what is a triathlon? So the word is triathlon. So there's probably 3 sports involved. The first sport is the swim, the second one is the bike, and last but not the least is the run. So just to make sure you understand what a triathlon truly is, let's talk about the distances. Typically speaking, triathlons consist of 3 different kinds of distances. The first distance is what you could call a sprint triathlon. So that's the one I did last weekend. It's a 1/4 mile swim, 12.5 mile bike, and last but not the least, a 3.1 mile run, which is essentially a 5K. The second distance is what you would call the Olympic distance. Yes, it's called the Olympic distance because that's what Olympic people do. So it's basically a 1 mile swim followed by a 24.8 mile bike, and last but not the least, a 6.2 mile run, which is a 10K. Now the last one, which is the one you guys are probably going, oh my gosh, what is this? These numbers are terrifying. That is called the Ironman, and the actual Ironman is held in Hawaii, Kona, every year. And it consists of a 2.4 mile swim in the Pacific Ocean from one island to another island. And then you bike 112 miles across this volcanic island. Yes, they actually canceled it 1 year because they thought there was going to be a volcano eruption. And last but not the least, you run a marathon. And you have 24 hours to complete this. So, just a heads up. So, awesome reason number 1 as to why triathlons are awesome. Triathlons are one of the friendliest sports you will ever find. Now, how many people here have done varsity sports before? And how many people here have actually spoken to a competing team at a meet if you didn't know them? Yeah. Well, so I've done varsity sports before, and you rarely talk to people on opposing teams if you don't know them. Because, especially like when I did soccer, we don't really talk to the opposing team. No, we just kind of stare at them. For crew, we just stare at the girls. But that's about it. But the thing about triathlon that's different is because everyone's doing it for a different reason. Some people are doing it because it's part of their bucket list. Some people are doing it for a friend. Some people are doing it because they want a reason to drive themselves to get back into shape. And honestly, 50% of people at the starting line ask the same question, which is, I have no clue what I'm doing. And they look at the water and they're like, I'm gonna drown. So the thing is, when you go for a triathlon, everyone's really friendly. Everyone's happy to talk to you, happy to talk about what you're doing. Are you nervous? Are you happy to be here? Are you excited? And at the end of triathlon, everyone's there to cheer you on. And the best part is, most triathlons actually end off with an after party. And yes, there's beer and other food and a lot of pancakes and things like that. And it's just a really, really big fun event where everyone eats, enjoys themselves, and lives to tell the story that they did a triathlon. So the second reason that I'm going to talk about is that it is a very, very self-motivating sport. So the best thing about working out is that you're going to be in shape, right? But the one thing you really want to think about is what exactly are you working towards? So a lot of people say, I want to have that 8-pack. Yeah, when I wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, I have to have like 8 little lumps on my body and I feel really good about myself. Well, that's a good goal to have, but it's not the best goal. Some of the best goals are something that you can actually achieve and grasp. Saying, I want to complete a sprint triathlon by next summer. That's a very logical goal to have. And you can work towards that. And by the time you complete that goal, you would have been, in shape, lost 30 pounds, met a whole new bunch of people in the biking club and you're a local park or something like that. So it's very, very self-motivating. And when you wake up in the morning, you don't have to drag your butt out of bed. You can just be like, today's gonna be a great day and I'm gonna work towards my little triathlon. So that's my second reason why triathlons are awesome. So the third reason is because triathletes are the healthiest individuals. So why are triathletes healthy? So when I look at health, I look at a few factors. Firstly, I look at actual physical capabilities. Can you run fast? Can you swim fast? So being a triathlete means you have to learn how to bike well. So biking well means that if a cop is coming after you, you can pop on your bike and bike away very efficiently and fast. And being a good biker also means you have good technique so you can bend those curves when the cop car can't do that. I'm not recommending you to run from the cops, but just saying. And being a good triathlete also means you can swim really well. And what does that mean? That means that when a shark comes to attack you, you can swim away really fast. And what's so good about swimming? People always ask me, why should I swim? It's horrible. I feel like a cat being thrown in the water. But the thing about swimming is you burn 4 times the amount of calories that you burn while running. If you swam a mile, that's equivalent to running 4 miles. And the other part about swimming is that it's a very, very low impact sport. There's no pressure on the joints. You're not going to hurt your ankle. Actually, I did see a girl twist her ankle the past weekend for a triathlon, but that's because she was trying to jump in the pool and she hesitated and she twisted her ankle as she was jumping in, and she didn't actually do the triathlon. And last but not the least, it's a good story. Last but not the least, triathletes run. And what's the best thing about running? Humans are actually born to run. If you look at why we are the way we are, we're only good for one thing. You might think we're good at using Apple products, or you might think we're good at doing computational finance. No, we're good at sweating. The human body is actually designed to sweat, which is why previously, even though every other animal has fangs and claws and bigger muscles than us, we could run them till they're dead, because they can't sweat as well as we can. And running is really letting yourself go, being stress-free. After you go for a run, maybe you're crazy, and when you're running, you're trying to do math problems in your head. By the end of the run, I promise you, the only thing in your head is this blank and empty space, which is good sometimes, because everybody needs that. You know? And last but not the least, being a healthy athlete or being a healthy individual is being injury-free. And doing triathlon training is good for you because it's cross-training. And the best part about cross-training is that you basically avoid every single kind of overusage injuries. And also, it's very rare for you to have any kind of other injuries during races, unlike marathon, where on average 50 people die every year. I know, terrifying. You might want to take that off your bucket list. So, moving on to the important part, why is it not scary? Because each and every single one of you can actually finish one. Now, how many of you have actually gone to Fuel and Fuddle before? All right, if you haven't gone to Fuel and Fuddle, you better go there and get your beer Bible. But anyway, walking from the UC to the Fuel and Fuddle and back is basically 2/3 of the triathlon running distance. And here's the cool part. There is no rule that says you cannot walk a triathlon. And there is no rule that says you cannot pedal your way slow and nice and just relax and being like, oh hey, and just biking really nicely and finishing your biking segment. You do not have to be so intense to jump in the sea and start kicking everyone else in the head in the swimming segment either. I know so many people that actually do triathlons just for the sake of finishing it, and it's a great experience because you have fun. You can live to tell that I actually did a triathlon and actually not risk it, like, because marathon, we don't really know if we'll make it out alive. And that's phenomenal. You know, the distances really don't matter. I'm not saying everyone should go do the Ironman. Maybe I don't want to do the Ironman, but maybe a sprint triathlon is all you need to do. And that distance may be very manageable for you. And perhaps that's the one goal you've always lacked to actually go to the gym. And last but not the least, you can feel really baller finishing a triathlon. When I finished my first triathlon and I sprinted across that finishing line with all these random people cheering me on, it was the best feeling ever. And afterwards, when I was collapsing on the ground and feeling like I was going to throw up, like the way I make a lot of brothers feel when they work out with me, I actually felt pretty good because I felt challenged. And everyone has a different experience. I know 2 other friends that did it, and one of them did it purely to finish it. And she was very happy to finish. She was nowhere close to being in the top hundreds, or like top 150. There were only 160 people competing. She came in close to the bottom, but does it really matter? No. She was really happy. She went home smiling, and we all went to Hokkaido to gorge afterwards. And so, what I would like to say to everyone is, triathlon is actually becoming a very popular sport, especially sprint triathlons in the US. The best part is, they're probably everywhere. If you're going to be in New York this summer, there's a lot of sprint triathlons, like a lot. And if you're in Pittsburgh, there's a great Pittsburgh triathlon as well. And they're really everywhere. So, thank you very much. And if you're interested, please go to www.tryfind.com, select your state, and you will find any distance triathlons or duathlons. And you do have a picture of me. Thank you.